everyone, and welcome to Books Unbound, the podcast where we unbind books to get to their hearts with your hosts, us. It's Ariel and
Raylene. Heyo.
Woo! I almost said Raylene and to see what you would do.
Oh my god. That would have been really scary.
I should have slipped that in. I wonder, like, if you would have seamlessly said Ariel, if you would have just said Raylene, because that's the instinct that you've done 294 times, or if you just would have, like, been panic-stricken.
I think I would have panicked and I would have said, like, Ariel! I would have said your name in a crazy way. I think that's what would have happened.
Here we are for another episode. What number is this one, Raylene?
I think 295. Whoa. We're getting close to the big old 300.
That's very interesting.
It's actually kind of beautiful that we're hitting 300 while we're both 30. I don't know. That's nice, clean.
Oh, you're right. That is clean.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that. I didn't think about that. I've just realized that my camera is super slanted, and we're just going to have to go with it, you guys. Like,
it's funny. Every time we record, for some reason, I've had to, like, adjust my tripod because it looks like it's crooked. And I'm like, has it just been a little bit crooked every time? And, like, no matter how many times I fix it, it's always crooked.
And what if CJ is listening to us right now and he's like, yeah, it is. And I have to fix it every time.
Maybe I'm the one who's crooked. I don't know.
Please fix this. I don't know what happened. Wow. It is what it is. We're here for another episode of Book Talk Book. Oh, not like Book Talk.
No.
I meant TALK, not
do that
TOK.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I don't know what Book Talk is.
I've never heard of her.
There's a beautiful freedom in getting older and being like, I don't have to know what that is.
I know.
It's okay.
I love that. I love being out of the loop.
It's okay.
It's great.
Yeah. It's like, it's not the same as ignorance, because I feel like ignorance is like choosing. It's not even choosing. It's kind of like being stubborn and not wanting to know or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not being able to see any value in a thing. You're just like, I don't want to know about that.
Yeah.
But like, I've looked at TikTok and I've decided it's not for me. It can be for other people, and I'll dip in and out to understand it. But for the most part, that's not my cross to bear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's okay. And it's just funny because I remember like starting in the really old BookTube days, how like we would get so much judgment for being book vloggers.
Oh, big time. Big time.
And now I know there's so much shit towards book talkers, and it's just like, let's just all let the young people do what they gotta do.
It's true. Like, we were young, people are young now. Like, everybody's always gonna go through a thing. And
I guess,
have a space where they need to be.
That's the difference, I'd say. Whereas, like, I'm not offended by book talk. I'm just kind of like, it's got nothing to do with me. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly. Perfect.
What's that got to do with anything, Raylene? Why do we talk about that?
Great question. I don't know how we got here. We want to talk about books.
We're here. We're talking about books. All right. Let's start with our usual little update. It's been a pretty, well, in many ways, a very low-key week for me, in that, like, not much has gone down, but a lot of work has gone. It's just been like a busy work week. And that just means that nothing else gets done. And so it's difficult for me to have a good anecdote to show up here and tell you all about. But I actually do have a good one. It's a little wedding update. Wedding update.
Okay.
3 things this week on the wedding front. Okay? First of all, the other day, like months ago, I was reading something, and it was a post. It was like around when I bought my shoes. And I was like, I don't remember how I got on this article or something, but someone was saying you should wear your wedding shoes before your wedding. They were like, you don't want to wear literally never before worn brand new shoes at your wedding. You're just going to be in pain. And I was like, you're totally right. The shoes that I've chosen, oh my God, I love them so much. They're so pretty. But and I actually, like, a huge part of the reason that I love them is because they're not very high heel. They're not high.
Yeah.
And nice the heel is quite wide, and so it's good. They're very stable, and they're like strapped on. Like they feel very secure and comfortable, but they're still brand new shoes.
Yeah.
So the other day I put them on with big socks. Ooh. And I was just clomping around the house wearing my wedding shoes and my pajamas. And I was just like, Just getting ready for the wedding.
Just putting my steps in.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep wearing them here and there, just around the house and walk around. And because it's true, I don't want to break them in on the dance floor.
Day. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Okay, second wedding update. High stress, sort of. Me and my mom washed my dress this weekend. Okay. So I have bought a vintage dress. I don't know if I've talked about this, but I bought a vintage dress. I got my dress where I get all my favorite things. Facebook Marketplace. Oh, yeah. And so I wanted to get it dry cleaned just because it is vintage and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm getting it. I'm doing a fitting. I'm getting a small alteration. Basically, the zipper is broken. Ooh, it just is a vintage thing. So it was broken. And so I need to get a new zipper put on it.
Yeah.
So I'm getting it slightly altered. Just the alteration is adding the new zipper. I'm going in to do that tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
And so I said to the lady, I was like, should I get it cleaned before or after that? And do you recommend a place that I do that? She's so cool. She was like, you should wash it beforehand, so like the colors are accurate, and I match the zipper to the colors. Yeah, she's like, but also I recommend you just wash it. You're at home. She's like, it's the safest thing to do. It's the easiest thing to do. It's cheaper, but she did say, she was like, if you're too nervous, that's okay. This is the dry cleaner I recommend.
Right.
I was like, no, that's great. I would rather do it at home. And so me and Mama, oh man, we were just like. It was so much fun, and it was so cute and funny and interesting, and it was just very beautiful, honestly. One of my favorite wedding prep moments, washing my dress with my mom and us two laughing in our dumb little kitchen sink that's not built for anything, and moving a giant bucket of water to the dining room because we're too scared to do it in the kitchen. And anyway, so we washed it. And it was very easy to do so, but we washed it and then we splayed it out flat on the dining room table. And it's in there now, and it looks so sacred.
It's just like, oh.
It just looks like it's so preserved and beautiful and like ready for its special day. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna send you some photos of that actually, because it was so. Oh my God, I got so scared. I sent them to Connor just now. No, I didn't. I sent them to you. Woo. Yeah. So I've just sent you the photos. You can see. The dress, she just looks so fancy on her table.
Yes, it does it's giving like Sleeping Beauty vibes or something. Like she looks like Snow White laying in her little glass thing. Yes. Just like it's just fully reclined.
Or it looks like a snow angel. My friend Claire was like, it kind of looks like a snow angel. I was like, it does, because it's like on a bed of white towels.
It is, yes. And your mom looks so cute. Oh, that's great.
Oh,
that's great.
She does. She's the cutest. So anyway, so that was the other big thing that happened this weekend. The third update is that I have confirmed and paid the deposit for the cake.
Oh my gosh.
A very exciting development.
I want to ask questions, but I don't know if you're willing to reveal things.
I can reveal the flavor.
Okay, I do want to know what the flavor's going to be.
Because I don't think anyone will judge me. Like, you can't judge someone on their cake flavor. No. You know? We are doing Earl Grey
Yum.
with lemon curd.
Okay, that's going to be so good.
We did a sample of it. And we did 2 rounds of samples. So we got a couple of samples of some cakes and tried them all, and we loved the Earl Grey one the most. But we were like, can we slightly tweak it? And the woman at the bakery was like, yeah, and she's like, I think lemon curd. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And so we then tried that one, and me, my mom, and Connor were just like, oh my god, wow. With every bite we were like, yes,
this is the one.
So exciting. So we locked that in, and now we've got the cake.
That is so
also
exciting.
Put together a Pinterest board of the cakes that I like the design style, and sent that over to her, and she said she liked what I sent over. So I don't know what the design process is. I don't know if she's just going to make something and I'll just accept it on the day.
Yeah,
or
this is crazy. I don't know anything about how people actually plan a wedding because I've never done it. And I also haven't been to a friend's wedding. Like, that just hasn't happened for me yet. So I'm like, I'm totally in the dark here too. I have no idea.
It's been deeply fascinating, honestly. And I am seeing now the whole gambit of the different degrees of involvement that you can have. You know, like one of my very close friends whose wedding I'm going to this summer as well, her wedding is at a venue that does everything, basically.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So I keep telling her, I'm just like, yeah, now, like, we're trying to figure out the food. And she's like, our venue just does the food. I'm like, oof. Yeah. And I'm like, now we're trying to figure out decorations. She's like, our venue just is doing the decoration. Like, it's like, they've got built-in decorations. I'm like, totally. I'm like, I got to figure out chairs. And she's like, the venue has chairs. Oh. I'm like, I see why you might go with an all-in-one.
Yeah. Just a bit easier.
It really does package everything into one place, right? Which is really cool. But it's obviously way more expensive because you're not DIYing anything. You know what I mean. So anyway, there are so many different ways to do it. There's so many different versions of what you choose to DIY, what you choose to prioritize or not do. Like, I'm not doing flowers, for example, but a friend that I was just talking to last night, flowers like were her main thing. She loves flowers, and so she did the flowers herself, and they're so beautiful. And so it's just like everyone's got to do their own thing, right? But it is fun. It has been fun. It has been very interesting, and well, like I keep saying, this is all easier than the mini truck. This is a lot easier than launching a mini truck. Like, I don't have to paint a truck. This is easy.
That's true.
I've done harder things.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And like, I get to taste cake. Like, this is fine.
What are you talking about?
This
get to buy shoes, taste cake.
The tiramisu or the Earl Grey. I can't decide. I'll have another slice. Like, it's fine.
Yeah,
I get to buy shoes and wear a pretty dress. Like, this is fun.
That's amazing.
I don't have to file a business license.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's been really interesting. And so this weekend there was like a couple of fun things. Connor's currently away for a work conference. And when he comes back, we have to buy his suit.
Ooh, that's the fun part. Yeah, Kyle got his suit like custom made. So it was really crazy. He had to like go get measured and everything is all fancy and custom. And I was like, geez, that's crazy. I just walked into honestly, I think it was easier for me to buy a dress than it was for Kyle to get a suit.
That's funny. Yeah. Did you have to get any alterations to your dress? I don't remember.
Yeah, I had to get, like, the straps were a little bit too long. It was just like a sleeveless dress, so the straps were a little bit too long, but other than that, it like fit perfectly. Like, it was all beautiful and wonderful. Actually, kind of funny thing too is that I never got it dry cleaned after the wedding, so I think it probably still has some twigs on it. Because for those who don't know, we did an elopement and got married in a field. So there was, the dress was dragging around on the ground, and I was like, yeah, whatever, just shove it back in the bag, and I haven't looked at it since. So I think it's probably still got twigs and dirt all over the bottom of it.
Do you think you're gonna keep your dress forever? Do you think you're gonna sell it? Do you have any? This is such a fascinating question to me.
Yeah.
There's so many women with their wedding dresses in their closets, and I myself am about to become that person. Right. And I'm like, I don't want to have a dress in a box that I never use. Like, I feel like it would be better for the world to give it back into the ecosystem. But Absolutely. At the same time, it's so emotional.
It's such like a momentous thing to
You don't owe it to anyone to put it back in the system.
Yeah.
But it's just,
totally. I mean, great question. That is something, like, I still have it now, but I do plan to sell it at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Sure. And also, like, I would have to do it at the right time because it would have, like, it's a summer dress kind of, so I would have to make sure I'm like trying to sell it at the right time. Yeah. And I also don't want to wait too long because then it might be like totally out of style and no one will want it. So I'm currently like grappling with just like the timing and just the act of actually doing it, because as people may know, I love getting rid of things. Like, I don't really like hanging on to things that aren't serving me. And so, like, yeah, it's emotional and beautiful to keep, but what am I going to do with it? Like, logically, what am I going to do with it? It's just going to hang in a closet, right? So, I don't know. Well, I'll get rid of it eventually, but that's me.
you could dye it black and then have it as your Halloween costume for every single year until you die. And then you can get buried in it.
That's a great idea. The thing that scares me is I don't know if I could fit in it anymore. I think I've grown a little bit since I first wore it. I have not gone back to try it on, but that's my fear. Because it was a different time. You know, I was a younger person.
It was a different time. Yeah, that is an interesting thing. Because I have been thinking about this with my dress. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. There's no rush either. I can just
it doesn't matter. And yours is a vintage dress, so like it's never going to quote unquote go out of style. It's already old.
I do think so. It already has gone out of style in a way. So now it's just whoever wants a vintage dress is going to like it. Yeah, but I 100%. Think because it's vintage, I do think it could work as a costume.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that for you too. Like I could totally imagine you wearing it for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine would be a little dramatic. So, mine is like really long and
yours is like a proper like princess dress. You could But this is what I mean. You could have like a wand and a little crown and
I mean, it'd be so cool actually if I like added like flowy sleeves to it or something and dyed it green or something. Like imagine it being like because it is kind of like a foresty vibe. Like it has kind of like a design that's like floral, kind of leafy looking. It's very mystical looking if it was the right color.
Yeah, I feel like that could be really cool. Fascinating. Mm-hmm. All right, how about you? How's your week been?
Well, it's been good, same as you, like not really a whole lot going on. The main thing that I've honestly been doing is gaming. I have become
you're a gamer girl now.
Hardcore gamer girl this week. To the point where I had to go buy a new mouse because my old mouse was not serving me anymore. So I talked about it a little bit on the last media tub we did, which is a bonus podcast episode we do for our patrons. We just talk about what media we've been consuming. And I had been playing a little bit of Call of Duty Warzone with my husband and my brother. And we had just kind of dipped our toes in. And so it was all very fresh and all very new. I will say every weekend since then, we have played on Saturday and on Sunday and occasionally on Friday, occasionally on Monday. Like we have been playing like crazy. I have become addicted to it, which is kind of like funny because when we first started playing, I was like, oh, this will just be nostalgic because I used to play Call of Duty with my brother, like all throughout our childhoods. We would play that and that was just like our thing. And I was like, it would just be kind of fun to like do something with the three of us. And now I'm the one who's always like, can we play again? Can we play today, please? Even just for a little bit. And so it's been so fun. But my mouse was kind of like, I had a gaming mouse that had like the 12 buttons on the side. Okay.
Oh, you've been playing on your computer.
Oh, yeah.
I assumed you were on an Xbox literally because as children we played on an Xbox.
That's actually a good point. I used to play it on Xbox and I was so bad at it. And the reason I was so bad at it is because playing on a controller is a nightmare. Trying to aim with a joystick to me is the worst possible way. So we've been playing on the computer. Yeah. It's crazy how much more fun it is. I used to get so frustrated because it was so hard and I was like, well, I'm just never going to be even a little bit good at this. But now I've been calling it my training. Every time we play, I'm like, okay, I'm in training mode to get good. Because basically like Call of Duty Warzone is just like an online battle royale game. It's free to play, so anyone could get it and play it. And so you're kind of just thrown in with like 100 other people all online and you're just trying to be the last team alive basically. And so to like prepare me for the actual game, which is that, we've been playing Warzone, what's it called? Battleground? I don't know. Boot camp. And it's just like a small version. Half of the people you play against are bots. And so it's a lot more chill. And so playing that is my training. And eventually I'm going to make it to the real game. But the other thing that was fun about that is I got a new mouse, like I said. So I just wanted to show you my beautiful new mouse. So I'll show you first.
Oh,
it's
good
white.
Lord. It looks
and it has
very futuristic.
But I know it does look like a robot a little bit. So I'm just showing it to the screen. This is a Logitech G502X. Very dramatic. And I got the one that has RGB, it's got color capabilities because it's just prettier. And it has all these buttons on the side now. And so I've become very powerful in Call of Duty. And now that I have all these buttons, I'm like, okay, I know how to throw a grenade now. Okay, I know how to slide. I can like sprint and I can slide on the ground. Like I've got all these powers now. I just feel like it was so funny actually when we were at the store buying the mouse, because Kyle like was like, you should probably buy this mouse. And so I was like, okay, sweet. And so we asked the guy at the store, I want that one. And he pulled it out and he was like, oh yeah, like what kind of games are you playing with this? And I was like, well, you know, I'm really into Warzone right now. And then Kyle goes, but she also likes to play Stardew Valley. And the guy was like, okay. It's like just very confusing, but I can see this working really well for Stardew as well. I can quickly grab my sword. I can quickly grab my pickaxe. Can you map
buttons on Stardew?
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Yeah,
I think so. If you go into the keybinds, you can do a whole lot of things. And actually on the mouse software that came with this, it has all these different like presets that you can set up. And so one of the things that popped up was Stardew Valley. Like you can make its own profile that's like linked to Stardew Valley. It's all very, very high tech and I don't really understand it, but I have been loving that. But I also spent the past week playing another video game. So that was just my weekends. But during the week, I played Detroit Become Human, which is this video game. It's a story-based game. I played this on the PlayStation, and it is about androids. And so you play as 3 separate androids. One of them is like a cop android, and the other 2 are kind of like fugitives, basically. And so you're playing as this one who's trying to like track down the other one, or the other 2, and then you're playing as these other people who are like, one's just trying to protect this little girl and like get away safely. She's trying to escape to Canada. And then the other guy is like a revolutionary android trying to start a war, and it's like all very dramatic and cool. But I played through the entire game this past week because I've owned it for quite a while now. I think I bought it like 5 years ago or something, and I've started playing it multiple times, but I never actually played it all the way through. Oh man, it was so good. It was so good. Amazing. And after the end of each chapter, it shows you like your flow chart of what your decisions, you know, changed about the story. And I already want to play it through again because I'm like, there's so many things that I did wrong. And like, I could have saved that person if I had only done that thing. And yeah, it was just great. So I highly recommend it for anyone who loves games like Until Dawn or Life is Strange, but like you want a sci-fi robot story specifically, which is obviously exactly what I'm in the mood for right now. So it just came at the perfect time and I loved it. So yeah, that's all I've been doing. Honestly, I really haven't read a whole lot. I've mostly just been gaming.
That's fun. So when you and Kyle game, you're in different rooms.
Yeah.
Oh, I was imagining this whole time both of you on the couch with controllers, and it's a completely different
setup. Completely different. We only do that when we're playing like Switch games together. If we're playing pretty much anything else, we're each on our own little computer, and we're on Discord so that we like, because otherwise if I have to close the door, otherwise I can hear him on the other side of the apartment. It's just a nightmare. But yeah, if we're playing with my brother especially, then we're all just like in a Discord call, and it's great.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's transition and talk about books. I didn't read very much this week. In fact, I don't know if I read a single page.
Oh my god. That's really dramatic. Are you still on page 10 of Our Wives Under the Sea?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
I haven't read any. I just haven't read. Do you want to talk about sleep for a second? I've been having crazy dreams. I've been having crazy dreams. I've been having really terrible sleep. I decided I shouldn't use a pillow anymore. I'm not a pillow
I'm with
user
you there.
anymore. Nope.
I love
no
being
pillow
flat.
for old Ariel. I want a really thin pillow. I want like a layer, like an inch tall layer of foam.
Yeah. I'm exactly the same. I always want a pillow to be as flat as possible. Like, I don't want to feel it. You know, your head. Like, when people, like, I had a memory foam pillow once a long time ago, and I was like, I think this is the worst thing I've ever laid my head on. It's so stiff. And it, like, holds your head up so high.
I met some of Connor's coworkers a few weeks back, and we somehow got on the topic of pillows, and we all went around the table, and there was like 8 people there. We went around the table, and everyone explained their pillow preferences.
That's so funny.
It was so interesting how literally everyone had a very specific thing that they were doing. And like one girl, the funniest one to me, she was like, all pillows are too thick, so she buys new pillows, cuts them open, takes out half of the filling, and then uses that. And I was like, we're all customizing out here. We're all on different journeys.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so I've just been having terrible sleep, and I've been trying to sleep more, but it's not been working. And Haven't been reading. What I have been doing is watching Gilmore Girls.
That's so fun. I love that because I just watched Gilmore Girls last year, so it's fresh to me.
I've been watching Gilmore Girls, and I watched A Year in the Life.
Had you not seen it before?
Never.
You've seen the whole thing?
I have seen the entire thing.
And how much do you hate it?
I don't hate it as much as I thought I would hate
it.
I thought it was gonna be dirt. It's not dirt. It's bad.
Yeah. It's
bad. It's not great. But
bad.
all of the Emily Gilmore stuff is really
good. That's true. I do really appreciate. I feel like her arc actually is like
was fantastic.
Good. Whereas the rest of it, why are we doing this?
Yes. Like her stuff was useful and interesting, and actually it really fits in really with my theory about the Anne of Green Gables books.
Oh.
Where every other book is good, right?
Yeah.
The reason that they're good is because they are tracing a moment in Anne's life,
right,
when she's undergoing a transformation. Book 1, from an orphan to a daughter. Book 3, from a teenager to a woman. Book 5, from like a single woman to a married woman.
Yeah.
Those are big transitions in your life.
100%.
The middle books, boring as hell. They've got nothing to do with anything. They're just meandering. They have no like true character development. And so tracing that to A Year in the Life, Emily Gilmore goes through a massive life transition. Her life is upended because the actor that played her husband in the series passed away, for people that don't know, in the 10 years between the original show and the new show. And so I really respect them for doing this. They just put that into the show. They were like, her husband died and we're going to deal with that. And so her life is transformed. The life that she's led can no longer be led. It is a new life. And therefore, she undergoes a really fascinating transition. It makes sense to her character. She's still mean, but she softens. Everything to do with her waitstaff is hilarious, but really sweet and wholesome. All of the changes that she does. And like, it was actually really good. Like at certain moments,
if it was just her storyline, I think it would be great.
Lorelai Gilmore stuff, kind of boring. I didn't think it was bad. It wasn't like terrible, but it was just pretty boring. It felt pointless. It felt pretty like repetitive. I'm like, we've already solved so many of these problems in the original show. It feels really cheesy and cheap to just revisit these same problems, you know? Like, we don't need to cycle like this so much. But the Rory. Wow. I don't even understand how you can mess something up that bad. And like, I read some criticism afterwards, and a lot of people were like, the writer, Amy Sherman Palladino, she's like the showrunner. Her and her husband write the show. But like, they were like, she hates millennials. And I was like, I think she might. Because
that makes sense, actually.
There's a lot of hatred towards that younger generation. And like, I'm like, I literally can't understand how you can mess up a character and a plot line so bad unless you just hate them, because that would explain it. If you just hate millennials, then it explains why you think that Rory would become that person, do those
Which
things.
Makes no sense at all.
It makes no sense at all. But it's also not an interesting transformative moment for Rory in any way, because of course she loved her grandfather, but it doesn't affect her the same way that your husband dying affects your life. So that's not a transformation moment for her. She's in the middle of nothing. Nothing is funny. I was watching it and it was like a car crash where I was like, wow, like I don't even know how you do that. But the final thing I wanted to mention that was colossally bad. Everyone, when it comes to these kinds of reboots, Freakier Friday, A Year in the Life, these kinds of reboots, everyone gets so excited when they hear that the cast is coming back. They're like, oh my God, Michelle is going to be in the show again. And like Rory and Suki's, she's not in for a lot, but she is in it for a moment. And like, you know, like people are like, they're so excited to hear that cast is returning, as if the cast makes the show. People need to be that way more about crew returning. Because this show, the second it started, I'm not kidding, really, I burst out laughing because it looked so bad. I was like, holy shit. Like, sorry to swear. I was just like, I was like, well, that's not the same cinematographer. You can bet that.
It all looks different.
I was like, I can tell they're not using the same camera. They're not using the same editor. They're not using, and I looked it up. They're not. They have a different costume person, which you can really tell. The costumes were awful. The makeup person, I was like, that's different. It was. Different editor, different cinematographer, different. Everyone, the crew was different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is such a failure to understand how these shows are made. Like, the cast is obviously a big part of it, the portrayal of those characters. But a cast doesn't make a show. You need that original crew. Yeah. They're the ones that bring that warmth that we all love about Stars Hollow. The lighting was so bad.
I never even, like, realized that was one of the problems. But now that you say it, I'm like, of course. That makes so much sense. Bad. It does feel like a totally separate show. Like, none of it feels like it has the same comfort or, like, hominess. Like, there's something about it that's off.
It's disturbing. And it is that. It's not because it's set in 2020. Well, no, 2016 is when that show came out. It's not that. It could still be that cozy if the lighting and the filming and the editing, like all of these things, I was just like, whoa, okay. I don't get it, but okay. A lot of crazy decisions made there. Also, I want a t-shirt. Actually, I should look this up. Maybe a t-shirt exists, but I want a t-shirt that says...
I'm so excited to hear what you're about to say.
It just should say movies shouldn't, or it should be illegal to shoot movies on digital. I just don't believe in that anymore. Or like, let's shoot on film. That's it. That's what I want the shirt to say.
That's good.
Movies should not be shot on digital. I get digital cameras. My entire career has been filmed on a digital camera.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm okay with digital cameras for amateurs. It makes sense. We're at home. How am I going to process film? What are we, like, that doesn't make any sense.
What are we talking about?
When it comes to these giant budget productions, I get that film is expensive, but like, please. I just watched 27 Dresses.
Ooh.
Okay? That old rom-com.
Yeah.
I'm watching it and I turned to Mama, who I was watching it with. I was like, Mama, I bet you this is shot on film. And she was like, check. And so I like looked on IMDb. Yeah. I was like, it's shot on film. It's shot on film.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, how do you know, or whatever? And I was just like, cause it looks good. Mm-hmm. Cause it looks warm and beautiful. And it allows sorry, I'm going on a rant, but I'm just like and I was saying to her, I was like, they don't shoot rom-coms on film anymore. They all shoot them on digital and they all look flat and they all look overblown. I mean, it's a series of problems. It's not just film. It's also lighting. Yeah. Wow. Really, and I got really impassioned there for a second.
I love it. I am having a great time listening to this.
It actually disturbed me to the same degree as the stupidity of the Rory plot was how badly this thing was filmed. I was just like, ay. Even just the fact that like the cuts in the original show were so much faster between their talking. So it just felt like they were talking even faster, even though the actresses are like doing most of that. They're talking really fast, but the editing assists with that, right? Not in this show. Like it felt, the pacing was so weird. Boy, oh boy. All right. Remember ages ago I said we were going to talk about books?
I was going to say that. I was like, it's so funny how you said, let's talk about books. We ended up talking about film.
Yeah. Okay. The reason that I brought this up was because I didn't read.
That's fair. I think we got that.
I'm sorry, you guys. I was busy going on a really deep dive into the destruction of the modern film industry.
I'm actually curious though. Have you watched all of Gilmore Girls and then you watched A Year in the Life, or did you just like kind of insert that because you wanted to watch it?
A fantastic question. I jumped into season 2. I think I literally was like, I don't know what to watch right now. I clicked on Gilmore Girls. I like scrolled to season 2 and I went, scroll, click, and I started on episode 7. I don't know.
I love you. You're so... That's great.
And I watched it. I was like, great episode. And then I watched number 8 and number 9 and number 10. And then I watched the rest of the season. And then I started season 3.
Yeah.
And I started watching. And I'm on season 3, episode 8 or something.
Sure.
And I was like, I wonder what happens in A Year in the Life. So I went and watched that.
Yeah.
And then I went back to season 3 episode. Actually, I skipped to I watched episode 18 or something.
Whoa.
Because I wanted to see there's like a big fight. And I watched that and I was like, okay, I should go back. And then it's been a chaotic watch.
Are you going to watch season 1? Are you going to go back to watch season 1? Or are you just going to...
No.
That's actually so cool. Power move. I love that. You don't need to watch season 1. You know what happens.
I know what happens. I totally know what happens. I also feel like I like Rory enough, well enough. I'm not like a huge Rory, but whatever. I like her well enough, but I find her a little annoying early on.
She is a little annoying. She is a little too annoying. That's kind of like the whole point. I think I realized that when I rewatched it, I was like, I'm on Lorelai's side almost every single time something goes wrong. Now I'm on the mom side instead of because Rory's just being crazy. She does a lot of crazy things. I think before we move on from the Gilmore Girl talk, please. I think we need to tell the people what team we're on. Because everybody's probably asking, are you Team Dean, Team Jess, or Team Logan? It's so funny because I only watched Gilmore Girls for the first time like a few years ago. So my whole teenage years, I had no idea who these Dean and Jess people were. And everyone was talking about them. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. But I do have an opinion now.
I also have an opinion. You go first. I just did a huge rant. Well, where are you?
I don't like have deep feelings about why I like this person the best. Like, I'm not going to go on a rant, but I am 100% Team Jess.
So am I.
Oh, thank God. Everyone's Team Logan. I don't understand why everyone's Team Logan.
I don't really get it either. People are like, he's the one that calls her out on her nonsense. I'm like, Jess does that too.
Jess did that so much, and he was cooler when he did it.
And did that first.
And have you seen him in a leather jacket? And also, like, Dean, just no way. Dean was so overprotective and annoying. He honestly annoys me the most.
The first time that I watched the show, I was 17. I actually was on Team Dean. A lot of people were. But it was largely out of, like, loyalty. Like, I think that I'm, like, too loyal of a person when it comes to characters.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I'm just, like, I get upset when, like, I'm like, that's the first love, though. Like, I feel, like, so much loyalty to the first
And, like,
partner.
he was wronged, like, bad thing. Rory did something bad. So it does make sense.
Rory did multiple bad things to him. And so it really felt unfair. Like, even back then, I remember feeling like the writing was kind of unfair. I was like, you're trying to make Dean seem like a really bad guy. But he really wasn't. And there are, like, he definitely has moments. Don't get me wrong.
They all have moments. None of them are perfect.
And I am saying I'm not Team Dean now. But I'm just saying at the time, like, I just felt like, yes, he does things wrong, but so does Rory. She like, cheats on him multiple times in different kinds of ways and to different degrees. True. And also, okay, this is the other huge thing. When I first watched it, I hadn't ever, like, truly been in love before. And so I just kind of, I think, was fantasizing about the idea of, like, a first boyfriend and, like, whatever. Whereas now as an adult who's been through, like, a few different serious relationships, I'm like, you can move on from your first love. And you can, like, love them for what they were and respect it for the era that it was, but also fully move on. You know, in a way where I'm just like, so now I'm very much like, the Dean thing didn't need to work. When I was little, I was like, it's got to work. And I'm like,
it has
no,
to,
it doesn't.
The first one needs to be perfect.
Often exactly.
It's not, you know?
Jess is, in my opinion, the superior choice in so many ways. I guess there's a little bit of prejudice here where I'm just like, Logan being wealthy, I think adds a thing that the show isn't about. Like,
that's true.
I don't think that, I was thinking about this. The show really congratulates Lorelai for being a very resourceful character.
Yeah.
And it's resourcefulness outside of her parents' wealth, right? And, like, it is stupid that she left home at 16, but we just have to accept that it happened, whatever. It happened, and so she is so independent. And that's why we like Lorelai. She has started her own life, raised her own kid, started her own business, bought her own house. Like, she's done these things on her own and with her own found family, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, in contrast, we see the insane inherited wealth and we're like, that doesn't feel good. The show sets it up that way. So then it's weird to me to be like, you should just get with Logan, who's, like, ultra rich and gives you houses and gives you, like, and it's just like, that's kind of weird. Like, whereas Jess has so much more of that strappiness that Lorelai has. He starts his own publishing house and he, like, goes on his own and lives in the city on his own and does his own thing. He is his own person. And I was talking to my friend and she put it really well that he is a human outside of everyone else. Like, he has his 100%. Own life, his own goals, his own thing.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like he's, like, beholden to any other person. At all.
Yeah, especially not to his partner. Unlike Dean, who's like doesn't exist without Rory.
Yeah, he's the most codependent person.
Yeah, even with Logan, you're just sort of like, he's like so caught up with being a part of that club and being a part of his family and being a part of like with
He's a
Rory
bad communicator.
He's a bad communicator. So I'm just like, no. Totally.
I'm so glad.
Also,
I'm so glad we're on the same side.
We're bookish people, and Jess is the bookish
That's
one.
That's true. I mean, and Rory's bookish, so like they just make such a cute couple for
it just
so many
makes
reasons.
sense.
Yeah.
But good Lord. Yeah, when he showed up in A Year in the Life, I was like, I knew that they wouldn't get together because I was like, that would be awesome. And everyone says this show is bad. So that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
He was so good in the reboot.
Yeah, he was awesome. I really like that actor.
Even Dean was good. It was fun to have.
I liked having everyone
name?
back. That was
Jason
awesome.
Padalecki? Is that his name?
Padalecki?
Padalecki? He was awesome. He was really awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, really? We've been talking for 42 minutes.
This is literally a Gilmore Girls podcast now. Sorry, guys. We don't talk about books. We talk about Rory.
All right. Well, okay. So like I said, I didn't read. That was the whole point of the last 20 minutes, was to tell you I didn't read. And so I didn't want to show up empty-handed. And so I've come with a list.
Ooh.
I'm going to share a list of books I'm calling Tech Gone Wrong. The idea of this list is these are literary fiction novels.
Oh, okay.
Where a female character is involved with tech.
Okay.
That causes a problem.
Okay. You saying all that just made me think of one book that I think you're definitely going to mention.
Okay, well, maybe I will.
Yeah.
Up first, I have Hard
That was
Copy.
the book.
Was it that one? Okay, yeah. By Fien Veldman, which is translated by Hester Veldman. Oh,
whoa.
They have the same last name, but one of them has an S on the end. The other one
Oh.
doesn't. So most of the books on this list I have not read, but I noticed earlier that I was like, wait, I have a lot of these types of books. It's a really cool list. I'm going to put together this little listicle.
I'm excited. I'm into tech right now, so this is exciting.
So here it says, a customer service assistant spends her long workdays printing letters. Her one friend is the printer. And in the dark confines of her office, she begins to open up to him, talking about her fears, her past, her hopes and dreams. To her, it seems like a beautiful friendship is blossoming. To her boss, it seems like she's losing her mind. Diagnosed with burnout and placed on leave, she faces severance and, worse, separation from her beloved printer. But she's not about to give up on her only friend without a fight. And it turns out, neither is he.
Okay, that's hilarious.
That's so awesome. I gotta read this. It just
I'm so curious,
so good.
what is up with that printer?
It sounds so good.
You know what's funny? Before we started recording, Ariel was turning on her printer, and you were like, oh my God, it's so loud. So it's kind of funny that maybe your printer was going wrong.
You're totally right, actually.
Going wrong.
The next book that I have is Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin, and this one is translated by Megan McDowell. You haven't read this one, right? But you have read Fever Dream?
I have read it. I actually have read it.
Oh, you have read
I
Little
listened to the audiobook for that many years ago.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. This fits in to the theme, right?
Totally. It's very Black Mirror. It's very Black Mirror, that book.
Yes. So basically, I read the synopsis on the back to myself earlier, and I was like, that is deeply vague. I hate that. But basically, I looked up again, and so there's like some creature that's kind of like a Furby that has eyes that have cameras, and they become like very, very popular, and everyone starts having them in their house, and it's kind of a commentary on surveillance. Would you say that's semi-accurate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this, again, sounds like tech gone wrong. It says the ugly side of our increasingly linked world creates a dark and complex world that's all the more harrowing for being so recognizable. Again, I was like, I don't want sci-fi that's set like on a different planet or like 200 years in the future. I was like, I want it to be set in the now, and yet it's a little disturbing.
And what's creepy about that one is that the people who are watching on the other end. So these little Furbies, it's like there's like a connection that's really creepy.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
All right. The next one that I have is We Had to Remove This Post by Hannah Bervowitz. And this one is translated by Emma Rout. Okay, wait a second. Hold on a second, Raylene. Now, isn't this one Dutch? Yes. Hannah Berwowitz is one of the most acclaimed Dutch writers of her generation, it says. Hard copy is from where? Aren't you Dutch as well?
I think maybe.
Oh, it doesn't say. I think the Dutch are scared of tech. This one I didn't like very much. But that's okay. It still like fits into this list, and I know other people, there are obviously other people who have really liked it. This one is very interesting because it's about a woman who's a content moderator. She starts working at a company where her job is basically to be the person who looks at posts that have been flagged. So, you know, when you like see a post that breaks terms and services of, say, Facebook, and you're like, oh, that shouldn't be, I flag it.
Yeah.
That then has to go to content moderation. And a lot of that is done by AI, but a lot of it still has to be done by humans. And so she's the person who has to look at all of this disturbing stuff and decide if it breaks terms or if it doesn't.
Spooky.
I felt like this was a little bit boring, and it wasn't, I didn't have the best plot. I just felt like it was a little meandering, but it was still a really interesting topic, and it's not exactly the same as the other ones. I want more ones that are like this, where it's like a physical item that's a piece of technology that's gone kind of awry somehow. But I do think this fits the vibe of tech in a person's life. All right, the next one, this is a book, this is a mashed potato book here. This is a book that I have been meaning to read for years, and I'm like annoyed that I haven't read it. It is Aesthetica by Ali Rowbottom. So if I read this, the synopsis to you, at 19, Anna Ray was an Instagram celebrity. Now, at 35, she works behind... Wow, that's relatable. Sorry. She works behind the cosmetic counter at the Black and White store, that's in quotations, peddling anti-aging products to women seeking physical and spiritual transformation. She too is seeking rebirth. She's about to undergo the high-risk elective surgery Aesthetica, TM. A procedure that will reverse all her past plastic surgery procedures, returning her, she hopes, to a truer self, provided she survives the knife. So basically, it's about like this tech, this like new surgery thing. And I think there's something weird about the surgery and stuff.
That sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome. It sounds like a great exploration about like influencer culture and like this obsession we have with beauty and anti-aging, which I think is fascinating. Anti-aging is like a disturbing topic, actually.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating theme. Okay, the final book that I have on this list, you have to tell me if it counts or not. Okay. I don't know if it does. It is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin.
I would say it doesn't fit this specific list you've made, because it is about tech, but the tech doesn't go wrong. The friendships go wrong. It's just,
and so this is what I was thinking. I was like, is it the tech that drives them apart? Like, is it a commentary on how tech can drive us apart, or do we think it fits or it doesn't fit? I don't know.
Think so. But I appreciate you bringing it to the table.
Right? So how would everyone let us know in the comments if you think that this book would fit into the rest of my list? Also, if you have a book, you know, obviously that I didn't mention here that you think really fits into the list. I really want more like the first two, where it's like a piece of physical technology, a Furby, a printer, a phone. I was trying to find like things like that were like physical items. Obviously, I was just bound by the books that I own. I wasn't buying new books for this.
I just thought of one that might work. Cell by Stephen King. I actually don't know exactly what that one's about, but I know it's something weird with a cell phone. I haven't read that one.
Cell by Stephen King. Let's see. An apocalyptic horror novelist. Ooh. Let's see. It's loading. It says, graphic artist Clay Riddell was in the heart of Boston on the brilliant autumn's afternoon when hell was unleashed. This is so King. Before his eyes. Without warning, carnage and chaos reigned. Ordinary people fell victim to the basest, most animalistic destruction, and the apocalypse began with the ring of a cell phone.
That's crazy. I mean, there's a reason I haven't read that one yet. That sounds crazy.
It sounds amazing. The virus was carried by every cellular phone operating in the world. Within hours, those receiving calls would be infected.
Ooh. Hey! Oh, so it's like a zombie apocalypse that's through that does sound like it fits this list, actually.
Also sounds pretty fun.
It does sound pretty fun, actually,
473 pages?
That's a few too many, my guy.
Oh my god.
Although that is like a weird intersection of my interests right now. Like right now I'm really into robots, but I also really want to like read a zombie book for some reason. Like that's something that's been calling to me. So maybe that's just the thing.
Well, there you have it. That's my list for today. I'm excited to hear recommendations.
Me too.
And if you've read one of these that I haven't read, let me know what you thought of it. Should I like super prioritize it? They all sound really cool. And yeah, thanks for listening to that list. All right, Raylene, how about you? How was your reading, your hauling, your currently reading? Tell us everything.
Yes, well, I'm glad that we talked about Gilmore Girls for so long because I also didn't really read much, but I just finished the second part of Our Wives Under the Sea. So this is split into 5 parts, and I just finished the one called Twilight Zone. It goes Sunlight Zone and then Twilight Zone, and the next part is called Midnight Zone. So I am definitely liking this a lot more now that I've gotten into it. I feel like I just needed to get through the first 20 pages to like get on board with the writing style and kind of understand what the vibe is. And now that I know, I'm like, oh, this is really good. It's like spooky and eerie, but in the most like low frequency way, I guess is how I would put it. Like it's not scary, but it's definitely like there are moments where you're like, ooh, what is going on? Ooh, what is that? So it's very intriguing, and it's like making me question everything. So I feel like it's perfect for a book club. For those who might somehow not know, this is our current book club read with our patrons. So there's been lots of great discussion over in the Discord. I've been peeking in there and seeing other people's theories, and it's making me like think about the book in a different way too. Cool. So it's just really perfect. I'm really glad that we're all reading it together because it's just the right way to do it. And
I set up in the Discord, we set up a chat that is like pictures of everyone's books.
Oh, yeah.
I love scrolling through
I didn't know that some editions had sprayed edges. Oh my gosh, have you seen those? They are gorgeous. It's like the UK cover, and then there's sprayed edges that are kind of like match all the colors that are on the front. Oh, it's really nice. So that's jealous of those people. And I haven't read much more of Heaven by Mieko Kawakami yet. I'm on page 30 now. I think I was on like page 16 last week. So I really, it's just like every time I have a few, moments where I'm on my phone and I'm like, what should I do? I'll just like read a few pages. So this one, even though it's a short book, I think will probably take me a while to read, although I'm going to have to return that ebook soon. But other than that, I got a little haul. I only bought one book, but I also got a couple of cool books from the library that I wanted to shout out. So I went on a little bit of a Reddit dive about robot books and movies because I've said it a few times, I'm just really into that right now. And so a few things came up, but I was reminded of one book that I've honestly been meaning to buy for like a decade. This is like a weird mashed potato purchase for me. And that is Robopocalypse by Daniel H. Wilson. Yeah. So this is like an older book. Every time I see it at a thrift store, I'm like, should I? No, not today. I'll always find another copy. Like it's everywhere. It's one of those books that you just see all over the place. And for some reason, I just kept not buying it. And I think it's because I was waiting for this moment where I was obsessed with robots. And I was like, I'm ready to read this now. This is definitely a little different from the type of robot books I'm like really into in my head. I'm more into like, the kind of humanizing and like seeing what it would be like to give sentience to a machine and like, what does that mean? What does that look like? This is like about an apocalypse where the robots all come and try and kill everyone. So like, it's going to be a bit of a different vibe, but I'm still into it. And I feel like it just made sense to get that. But another thing I came across when I was Reddit deep diving is a graphic novel series called Descender. And these are written by Jeff Lemire, who wrote Sweet Tooth. So I'm very intrigued by that. I really like the Sweet Tooth series. I haven't read anything else by him, but I don't know. It's just about a robot kid as far as I can see. Cool. I just got the first 2 volumes out of the library, so I haven't started them yet, but they look pretty cool. So that was kind of one that I'm just like, taking a chance on. And the last book I got here is not a robot book, and it's kind of more like literary sci-fi, but I got Beautyland by Marie-Helene Bentino. And this one actually maybe sounds kind of like your tech thing.
Little bit.
Yeah. So I'll just read the first paragraph of the synopsis here. At the moment when Voyager 1 is launched into space carrying its famous golden record, a baby of unusual perception is born to a single mother in Philadelphia. Adina Giorno is tiny and jaundiced, but she reaches for warmth and light. As a child, she recognizes that she is different. She possesses knowledge of a faraway planet. The arrival of a fax machine enables her to contact her extraterrestrial relatives, beings who have sent her to report on the oddities of Earthlings. So, she's got like a crazy fax machine. That's exactly the thing we were talking about.
I feel like that should be on the list. I want to know... Okay, everyone confirm for us if that one should be on the list, because that's a very popular book right now. I feel like a lot of people are reading and loving that one.
Absolutely, and I have heard that it is more literary. It's not really sci-fi per se. It's more of a literary book with a sci-fi twist, so I am excited to have that, and we'll see if I read it. As we know, it's kind of funny. Every time I haul books from the library, I'm like, I feel bad if I don't read them, but I also buy tons of books and then they just sit back there and I don't read them. So it's kind of the same thing. But this is a book that, it's been on my radar for a little while and I do really want to read it soon. So we shall see.
Fascinating. Do we know, are the aliens real?
I don't know. Maybe
that's
not.
Question. Okay.
It does say, she came in on a spaceship, like Voyager 1. Or she was
is that
born,
a metaphor?
I don't know. At the moment when Voyager 1 is launched into space, a baby of unusual perception is born. So she's connected somehow. I don't know.
Or she thinks she's connected.
Well, that's the thing. It is literary, so I don't know. Exactly. I don't know how, real the sci-fi element is. Is that a metaphor
or is that a real spaceship?
It might be a metaphor. We'll see. I'll have to let you know.
That's fun, though. I think that's really fun. I mean... I do a similar thing with audiobooks where I will loan them from the library and then they just sit on my thing and then I just return them. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's on me. That's on me. Well, there we have it, everyone. Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching this episode. We always really appreciate your guys' support and your comments and things. It's a lot of fun. We're lucky to have this pod. So if you would like to support it, you can. There are options. Option number 1. You could comment. That always helps boost us. Mm-hmm. Option number 2, you could share an episode with someone. That's how we grow. Word of mouth. Option number 3, you could check out our merch shop. We have some really beautiful merch. We have washi tape. We have adorable miniature book stamps. We have gorgeous mugs. So there's some beautiful things going on over there. Or you could join our bookmark subscription, which is on our shop. Or finally, the biggest way is you could join our Patreon, where we upload loads of bonus content every month. We both do reading vlogs, like a bonus video over there. And this month, we're actually going to have like a third bonus video because we're doing a huge vlog for our book club book. And then we do a bonus Q&A every month, a media tub where we talk about all the movies and shows. You like the Gilmore Girls thing we just went on? That's what we do every month over on the Patreon. So if you want to check it out, that's always linked down in the description, and it's the way. Those are the ways to support the podcast. So thanks again for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.